On June 26, 1977, at 8:30 p.m. in Indianapolis, Indiana, the world witnessed history without knowing it. Elvis Presley took to the stage at Market Square Arena for what would be his final live performance, delivering one last electrifying show before 18,000 devoted fans. Less than 2 months later, the king of rock and roll would be gone forever, making this performance an irreplaceable piece of music history. What happened that night wasn't just a concert, it was the final chapter of a legend, a moment when the curtain fell on the greatest entertainer who ever lived, leaving behind echoes that still resonate through the halls of rock and roll today. The summer of 1977 found Elvis Presley in the midst of what would become his final tour. Market Square Arena in Indianapolis served as the venue for this historic evening, with Elvis performing for 18,000 fans who had no idea they were witnessing the end of an era. The atmosphere was electric, as it always was when the king took the stage, but there was something different about this particular night, a weight in the air that seemed to foreshadow the tragedy that would follow just weeks later. Indianapolis had always been a special place for Elvis's performances. The Midwest audiences were known for their enthusiasm and genuine appreciation for his music, and this night would be no different. The Market Square Arena, with its intimate setting compared to the massive stadiums Elvis often filled, provided the perfect backdrop for what would become his swan song. The venue's acoustics allowed every note, every vocal inflection, and every emotional nuance to reach the audience with crystal clarity. As fans filed into their seats that evening, many were longtime devotees who had followed Elvis's career from his early days at Sun Records through his Hollywood years and into his Las Vegas renaissance. They came expecting another memorable performance from the man who had revolutionized popular music, but none could have anticipated they were about to witness the final live performance of their idol. The stage was set with Elvis's typical elaborate production values, the full backing band, the backup singers, and all the theatrical elements that had made his live shows legendary. The anticipation in the arena was palpable as the crowd waited for their king to appear. Little did they know that this night would mark the end of live rock and roll history as they knew it, and that they were about to become part of a story that would be told and retold for generations to come. When Elvis emerged onto the Market Square Arena stage that night, he carried with him the weight of a career that had spanned over 2 decades and changed the face of popular music forever. Although Elvis appeared pale, weak, and overweight, as he had with increasing regularity, there was nothing to suggest his impending death. Yet despite his physical struggles, the magic that had made him the king of rock and roll was still undeniably present. The setlist that evening was a carefully curated journey through Elvis's greatest hits, spanning his entire career from the rebellious rock roll anthems of the 1950s to the sophisticated ballads of his later years. The performance included Johnny B. Good, with solos by band members Larry London on drums, Jerry Scheff on bass, and Tony Brown on piano, showcasing not just Elvis's enduring vocal power, but also the exceptional musicianship of his touring band. What made this performance particularly poignant was Elvis's obvious connection with his audience. Despite his physical limitations, he still possessed that indefinable quality that had made him a global phenomenon, the ability to make every person in the arena feel as though he was singing directly to them. His voice, though perhaps not as powerful as in his prime years, still carried the emotional depth and distinctive style that had made him instantly recognizable to millions around the world. The interaction between Elvis and his Indianapolis audience was particularly warm. That evening, he spoke to them between songs with genuine affection, sharing stories and jokes that revealed the man behind the legend. It was as if he somehow sensed this might be his final opportunity to connect with his fans in this intimate way, and he seemed determined to make every moment count. The songs Elvis performed that final night in Indianapolis represented more than just Entertainment, they were a musical autobiography of one of the most influential artists in popular music history. Each number carried the weight of decades of innovation, rebellion, and artistic evolution. From the raw energy of his early rock and roll classics to the sophisticated arrangements of his later ballads, the setlist served as a comprehensive retrospective of his musical journey. The emotional resonance of these final performances cannot be overstated. When Elvis sang his signature songs that night, he wasn't just entertaining an audience. He was saying goodbye to a lifetime of artistic expression. His voice, weathered by years of touring and personal struggles, still possessed that unique quality that had made him instantly recognizable to generations of fans around the world. What struck many audience members that evening was the depth of emotion Elvis brought to his familiar material. Songs that fans had heard him perform countless times seemed to carry new meaning, as if he was pouring his entire life experience into each lyric. The backing band, aware of Elvis's declining health, provided exceptional support throughout the evening, creating a musical foundation that allowed the king to deliver one final memorable performance. Critical reviews were mixed, but his loyal fans loved it, which perfectly encapsulated Elvis's relationship with his audience throughout his career. While critics might debate technical aspects of his performance, his fans understood that they were witnessing something far more significant than a mere concert. They were experiencing a living piece of musical history, a final gift from an artist who had given everything to his craft and his audience. The significance of Elvis's final performance extends far beyond the confines of Market Square Arena on that June evening in 1977. On June 26, 1977, Elvis Presley left the building for the last time after performing what would become his final concert, marking the end of an era that had transformed popular music and culture forever. This performance has since become a pilgrimage site of sorts for Elvis fans, a moment frozen in time that represents both an ending and a celebration of an incomparable artistic legacy. The impact of knowing this was Elvis's final live performance has grown more profound with each passing year. Music historians and fans alike have dissected every aspect of that night, searching for clues, meanings, and final messages from the king. The performance has become a bridge between Elvis's life and his enduring legend, a tangible connection to the man who revolutionized popular music and created a template for modern celebrity that still influences artists today. In the decades since that fateful night, the Indianapolis concert has taken on an almost mythical quality among Elvis devotees. Bootleg recordings of the performance are treasured possessions, and those fortunate enough to have been present in the arena that evening have found themselves custodians of a precious piece of rock and roll history. Their memories and testimonies serve as the primary connection between that final performance and that call. Millions of fans who continue to discover Elvis's music today. The enduring fascination with Elvis's final performance reflects the broader cultural impact of his career and the void left by his unexpected death just weeks later. This last concert serves as both a period at the end of his life story and an ellipsis suggesting the eternal nature of his influence. It reminds us that true artistry transcends mortality, and that the king of rock and roll's final bow was not an ending, but rather the beginning of an immortal legacy that continues to inspire and influence musicians and fans around the world. Elvis Presley's final live performance on June 26, 1977, at Market Square Arena in Indianapolis marked the end of an era in music history. That night, 18,000 fans witnessed the last time the king of rock and roll would grace a stage unknowingly, becoming part of a historic moment that would resonate through the decades. Ready to dive deeper into Elvis's incredible journey? Discover the complete story of the king's life, career, and lasting impact on music history. From his humble beginnings in Tupelo to his final bow in Indianapolis, Explore the definitive collection of Elvis Presley's most memorable moments and performances. Explore Elvis's complete legacy, now Gives.